When the world was drowned in judgment, one family waited in faith for the first ray of mercy. For months, the only sound was the endless rhythm of waves crashing against the ark, a constant reminder of the world that was lost. Inside, surrounded by darkness and the quiet sounds of animals, Noah and his family lived in a suspended reality. The same God who had shut the door, sealing them inside from the judgment, was the same God they now trusted to open it again. And then, after long silent months, something changed. A wind began to blow over the face of the earth, not a storm, but a steady, purposeful wind sent by God. The chaotic waters, which had swallowed mountains and erased coastlines, began to retreat. The violent waves settled, and the thunderous roar of the deep faded into a gentle whisper. A world that was once destroyed by water was now being healed by wind. Inside the ark, Noah could not see the change, but he could feel it. The constant, violent rocking of the vessel began to soften. Hope, which had been a quiet flicker in their hearts, started to grow brighter, like the first light of dawn breaking through a long night. After 150 days of floating on an ocean of judgment, a sudden heavy jolt shook the ark. A sound they had not heard in months echoed through the wooden vessel, the sound of solid ground. The ark had come to rest. The Bible tells us it rested on the mountains of Ararat. Not in a valley, not on a flat plain, but on a high mountain. This was a powerful sign from God. The new world would begin from a higher place, a place closer to heaven. Imagine Noah, placing his hand on the damp wooden wall, feeling the stillness for the first time. The silence was deafening, yet comforting. After months of being tossed by waves, the feeling of stability must have brought tears to his eyes. The ground was real. It was there. But still, the door remained shut. Noah knew that just because the storm had passed, it didn't mean the journey was over. He waited. He listened. He trusted. Day after day, the water level continued to drop. The world outside was slowly being unveiled. Noah would look through the single window of the ark, his eyes searching the horizon. And then he saw it. The rugged, sharp peaks of mountains began to emerge from the receding flood. It was the first sight of land they had seen in over half a year. Each peak that broke through the water was a testament to God's faithfulness. It was a visual promise that mercy was indeed stronger than judgment, that the earth was alive again, ready to be reborn. The sight of those mountaintops must have filled the ark with a new sense of anticipation. The end was near. But Noah understood a profound spiritual truth. Seeing is not the same as knowing God's timing. His eyes saw land, but his heart was waiting for a command. Noah needed a sign, not from his own senses, but from God. He went to the window and released a raven. It's a strong, dark bird, known for its resilience. The raven flew back and forth over the vast expanse of water and mud, never returning to the ark. It found places to rest, but the world was not yet ready for new life. The raven's journey confirmed that patience was still required. So Noah waited 7 more days. This time he chose a different messenger. He released a dove, a symbol of peace, purity, and the Holy Spirit. The gentle bird flew out, searched for a place to land, but found none. The earth was still too wet, too barren. The dove returned to the safety of the ark, and Noah took it back inside. The message was clear. Wait. Another week passed in quiet anticipation. Again, Noah sent out the dove. This time, as evening approached, the dove returned, and in its beak, it held a freshly plucked olive leaf. An olive leaf, a universal symbol of peace and new beginnings. It was proof that life had returned to the earth. Trees were growing, the world was healing. A quiet, profound joy must have filled Noah's heart. After everything they had endured, God was showing them that his promise of restoration was real. Still, Noah waited 1 more week. He sent the dove out a final time. And this time, it did not return. The world was ready. The earth was habitable once more. Even with this final sign, even knowing the ground was dry and the world was ready for life, Noah did not open the door. He didn't take matters into his own hands. He had entered the ark on God's command, and he would only leave on God's command. This is perhaps the greatest test of his faith. He waited for the one voice that mattered. And then it came. The voice of God echoed, not with judgment, but with gentle instruction. Come out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you. The door was now open, not by human effort, but by divine permission. Noah took his first step onto a new earth. The air was fresh, clean, and pure. The ground under his feet was soft and untouched. The world was silent, like a blank canvas waiting for the artist's first stroke. One by one, pair by pair, the animals followed. Lions, tigers, bears, sheep, birds of every kind. They walked out not into chaos, but into an ordered world, stepping into a future ordained by God's mercy. As Noah looked around at the clean, empty landscape, a profound realization must have settled upon him. This was not just a new chapter, it was a new book. And he, his family, and every creature with them were the first words written on its pages. They were the new beginning for all of humanity. What is the first thing a man does after surviving the end of the world? Does he build a shelter? Plant a crop? Search for resources? Noah did none of these things. Before anything else, his first act was one of worship. He built an altar. This wasn't just any altar. It was the first altar on the new earth, a monument of gratitude to the God who had saved them. He gathered some of the clean animals and birds and offered them as a sacrifice to the Lord. This was not an act of fear, but an act of profound thanksgiving. The smoke from the offering rose toward heaven, a sweet-smelling aroma to God. It was a scent of faith, obedience, and a heart overflowing with gratitude. And as that smoke ascended, God made a promise that would echo through all of eternity. Looking down upon this act of worship, God said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures, as I have done." He knew humanity's weakness. He knew they would fall again. Yet he chose to establish his relationship on mercy, not judgment. And to seal this eternal promise, God placed a sign in the sky for all future generations to see: the rainbow. A magnificent arc of color, a bridge between heaven and earth. It was, and still is, a divine reminder. A reminder that no matter how dark the storm, God's promise of mercy shines brighter.